Alrighty, kiddos, Mrs. Williams, take 2. So again, last week we did solving systems by graphing. The video I just did was solving systems by substitution, and this one is going to be solving by elimination. Okay, so I think this one was probably the most popular method for students once I taught all three. Big thing to remember here is the first thing you need to do is put both equations in standard form. Remember, standard form is ax plus by equals c. Okay, so get the x and the y next to each other on the left side, and then the constant is going to be by itself on the right side. Okay, alrighty, so let's look at this first example here. Oopsie, didn't mean to do that. Alright, so here are the first two equations given to you. So step 1, you can see the top equation is not in standard form. Okay, so they added 2x to each side, and so it became this. Okay, so 2x plus y equals 7, and x plus 3y equals 1 are each your equations, and they're both in standard form. Okay, so remember what you have to do is get the coefficients of either the x or the y to be opposites of each other. So right now, I'm going to get a highlighter here. My x for the top equation is 2, so if I want my x's to eliminate or cancel each other out, then my coefficient for my x in the bottom has to be -2. So by multiplying the equation on both sides by that -2, I can make it just that. Okay? So you can see then they use the distributive property. -2x or -2 times x is -2x. -2 times 3y is -6y, and then -2 times 1 is -2. So that's how they did that. They left this equation exactly the same. They didn't need to do anything to that one because they were multiplying the bottom one by something to get the x's to cancel out. So at this point you're just combining like terms vertically. So the 2x's minus the 2x's go away because 2x's minus 2x's is 0. Then we have, you can't see it very well, let me erase. Then we have positive y minus 6y, thus -5y. We're combining vertically. And then we have 7 combined with -2, so 5. Divide both sides by -5, so y is equal to -1. Alright, so then just like we did with substitution, we have our known value for y. Then we pick one of the equations to substitute it back in for. I do not like what they did here. That equation's been manipulated already. There could have been a mistake made. So I like to go back to the original equations and pick one for it to substitute into. I'm going to pick that top equation. So I'm going to grab my pen. Alright, so 2x plus y, I'll write it out first, equals 7, and then I'm going to substitute in my value for y there. So then I'm going to get 2x plus, I'm going to put parentheses. Whenever you substitute in, put parentheses. Keeps it nice and neat for you. -1 equals 7. So that's the same thing as 2x minus 1 equals 7. I add the 1 to both sides. 2x equals 8. So x is equal to 4. Thus that. And then we check it in the same manner. We plug in both solutions, both the x and the y, to both equations and figure out if it was right. Okay? Alrighty. Questions. I guess if you have questions, you're going to hop on the live with me later today. Nope, just kidding. On Monday. Alright, I want to get to one that's a little bit more difficult though. This one will do it. No, that's not quite hard. No, I'll do this one. Okay, so now we have, actually, let's see. Yeah, I'll do 3. Okay, so the top one is in standard form. The bottom one, however, is not. It needs to be in standard form, so I'm going to rewrite both of them. The first one's going to stay just as it is. 2x plus 8y equals 68. These are big numbers, guys. It's okay. All right, and then I'm going to add my 4y to both sides to put it into standard form. These guys go away, so then I'm left with -7x plus 4y equals -46. Okay, so I'm looking to see if my coefficients can cancel out as is. So I look at my x's there. So I look at my x's. Okay, my coefficients do not cancel out there. And then I look at my y's and they don't cancel out there. I think the easiest thing to do would be to cancel out my y's or eliminate my y's, because I only have to multiply one equation by a number. Okay, and if I want it to cancel out with this top positive 8y, this bottom one has to be equal to negative 8y. So what times 4 is equal to negative 8? Well, negative 2. So I'm going to multiply this entire bottom equation by negative 2. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the top one again. 2x plus 8y equals 68. That's a y. And then I'm going to rewrite this one in red, showing the multiplication. So 14x minus 8y, that's what we wanted. And then negative 2 times negative 46 is 96, right? Yeah, 96. You can hear my son crying in the background. Alrighty, so now let's do some combining vertically. These guys cancel each other out. So I'm left with 2x's and 14x's. When I combine them, they're both positive. I get 16x's. And then these guys are both positive, so I can just add them. 164. So that can't be right. Is that right? What did I do wrong, guys? Let's see, negative 7x plus 4y. I feel like I made a boo-boo. That can't be right. Hold on. I hope I've done all this video and then made a mistake. That'll be grand. Multiply the whole thing by negative 2, so it's a positive. 2, 14x plus 2x is 16x. It is 46. 46 times 2 is 96. No, it's not. You guys caught that before me, didn't you? All right, well, good. All right, so this is, let me get my red pen, 92. So that makes me much happier. So get my blue pen here. All right, so that is one. Oopsie. That is 160. There we go. Divide both signs by 16, and you get x is equal to 10. So again, you can hear my daughter and son arguing outside about who gets to pet the puppy. All right, so then I'm going to take my value that I just found. X is equal to 10. I'm going to substitute that value into one of the two equations. I think I'll just choose the top one. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so they're still arguing out there. That's just grand. All right, so then 2x plus 8y equals 68. I'm going to plug in the value of x here. So 2 times 10, here he's still screaming, plus 8y equals 68. 20 plus 8y equals 68. Subtract the 20, 8y equals 48. So y is equal to 6. Okay, I'm going to do one more with you. Okay, where you have to multiply both equations by something. Okay, nope, that one would... I thought I had one in here. All right, let's look at number 12. Okay, so they're both in standard form. Check, that's done. Okay, so the 3 and the 4 aren't opposites. The negative 2 and the 5 are not opposites. So we have to come up with the least common multiple of either 3 and 4 or negative 2 and 5. Negative 2 and 5 are already opposite signs, so I'm going to go with those guys. So least common multiple of 2 and 5 is 10. So I'm going to have the top equation have a negative 10y and the bottom equation have a positive 10y. So to do that, I have to multiply the top one by 5 and the bottom one by negative 2. I'll write them after the multiplication. So I have 15x minus 10y equals 20. Oh, there they go again. And then negative 8x minus Julie Elizabeth. This needs to be a positive too, so sorry. Positive 8x, positive 10y, and negative 20. Interesting. Okay, I like it when it happens like this. Okay, so then the y's cancel. Get 23x is equal to 20 minus 0. 20 minus 20 is 0, so x is equal to 0. Okay, so I take that and I plug it back into one of the two equations. I'll just pick the top one. I'll get a different color for you. So rewrite that. So 3x minus 2y equals 4. Again, that's just the top equation being rewritten. I'm going to plug in my value of x is equal to 0 into this. Oh my goodness gracious. So 3 times 0 minus 2y equals 4. That's 0. So negative 2y equals 4. So y is equal to negative 2. Okay, again, you can check it by substituting both the x and the y back into both equations and making a true statement. Okay, so I'm going to be assigning a homework that goes along with this, guys. All right. Thanks for watching.